President Trump, though, saying that although immigration overhaul could be there, it needs to include ending chain migration and the visa lottery program. Can you accept that?
Well, he calls it chain migration. I call it family reunification. And what happens is, if, like in my family, my grandparents came here before I was born, my parents were here, and they want to reunite with their children, and that makes America whole. I don't think that's like a chain migration that will put our nation in peril. I think it adds stability. Talk about family values,
But
right?
that's what the president has put as a condition for any deal on DACA.
Well, look, he's put the wall as a condition. He's put that as a condition. And a lot of these conditions are non-starter. The wall is certainly a non-starter. And we want to make sure that 800,000 young people that are doctors and that are also teachers and members of our armed forces that are really contributing to our nation are brought in. They are Americans. They feel, every morning they wake up and they feel for the flag. And so I don't understand why our nation should turn our backs on them.
And the president certainly has said that he thinks that we should accommodate the dreamers. It just has to be done by Congress. At the same time, as a Democrat, can you see ways in which we should be tightening up our immigration? I mean, we have a lot of people who do come into this country who are not documented. That doesn't necessarily make anybody's life better.
Well, it's been a dramatic decrease in the number of people crossing the border. Since 9/11, the illegal immigration, what is called illegal immigration, has really dropped dramatically. And so, very often people say that, but the numbers don't show that. In fact, our economy needs a shot in the arm. Our economy needs a level of oxygen, and very often that is brought by immigrants that are innovative, that are hungry to succeed, that bring to the table so much that our country needs right now.
But to David's point, do you even need a physical border wall, as President Trump has talked about? Because you can just deport more people, you can tighten security at the border, you can let fewer immigrants into the country.
We will not be able to deport 12 million people out of the country. I think that fiscally, first of all, is prohibitive, but also as a nation, should we engage in a massive deportation campaign? That speaks a lot as to the soul of our nation. I think we need to be smart about immigration, obviously. Things have changed. Immigration is a global issue. It's not even a U.S. issue. It's happening all over the planet. And so we got to think smarter about immigration. Immigration is often triggered by inequalities. Poor nations, people in poor nations, have to migrate so they can do better for their families. And so that's what's happening in Europe. That's what's happening here in America. We need to be better equipped and smart about our foreign policy, what we promote outside of our country, and what we need inside. And I think that immigration has been part and parcel, the best part of economic development our country has had historically, not just now. I think we need a shot in the arm. I think our economy is not fully back running.
No question that immigration has been a foundation stone of this country. But at the same time, you're in the art of the compromise in Washington. And it's clear that some voters voted for Donald Trump who are concerned about immigration. Is there anything you could do, could sign up for and agree to, that the president then could say, I did make some progress in something I promised you I would do?
Well, 80% of Americans right now are polled to favor dreamers. 80% of Americans, including many of the Trump supporters, understand and acknowledge that these 800,000 young people should be let into the country, should stay here in the United States. I don't think any other immigration issue has polled this high, perhaps in the history of our nation. And so this is what America wants. They want them to stay.
But are the Democrats willing to risk a government shutdown on these issues?
Well, I tell you what, I voted against the continuing resolution a few weeks back. On the 18th, we'll face another juncture, another cross in the road, where we'll have to discuss the sequestration cap for military spending and non-military spending. And that's what's at the table right now. Republicans want to increase military spending. We say, you want to increase military spending? That's fine. But you know what? Let's also increase domestic spending and give us DACA. Give us the dreamer. And that's a fair compromise.